third year students. I am Mrs. Shiva Bhagya. Today in Med Surgery, Unit 8, the nursing care of elderly. Let us see the elderly demography, myths and realities. Coming to the demography, it is nothing but the resources, climate, conflicts, migration, urbanization, aging, and geopolitics. It is based on the resources, climate, conflicts, migration, urbanization, aging, and geopolitics. Today, the demography is at the heart of all the major contemporary societal issues, and each area of the globe is affected differently by population trends. And according to the area, according to the situation of the area, the demography will be there. Means certain in certain situations and in and certain places there may be the demography varies. Asia is the very diverse territory and encompasses a Japan in decline and an India in full boom. In reaction to this multitude of changes, a large number of myths are emerging. These are sources of concern among the ruling classes as well as within civil societies. Usually, the demography means it is nothing but the census, and the population it varies upon the situation of the place, climate, place, and the society. And usually, in India, there are many myths, and usually according to the society of the Indian culture. And in in others foreign countries, the myths are separate, and usually compared to the other all other foreign countries, there are we believe more in religious myths. The aim is to emphasize in an objective way the forecast of population trends and the challenges they will arise for our society. Usually the aim is nothing but it is an it is the what to follow the trends and challenges in the society, in the changes during the day by day society. According to population census of 2011, there are nearly 104 million elderly persons and are aged above 60 years or above, and 53 million females and 51 million males. That means females are more. But the share and size of elderly population is increasing over time. From 5.6 in 1961, the proportion has increased to 8.6 in 2011. That means more as the age of expectation is increasing, the population uh, is more increasing in the India, as well as the elderly also are increasing in population. And usually when we see here, the females are more than the males in elderly. If you see the percentage of total population in 2020, it is 19, it is 16.5, whereas in 20 it is 16.9 expected. This is the expected thing. And coming to the 2030, it is expected to be around 20.6% of the total population percentage. That is, the elderly will be increasing. Coming to the myths and realities, as the aging population expands, it will become increasingly important for healthcare providers to become aware of and sensitive to the needs and concerns of the older adults. Whenever there is increasing in the population of the elderly, there is more need for to increase the healthcare providers and to be very sensitive to give up to the needs they need. The ageism is a term that describes negative stereotyping of older adults and discrimination because of older age. Ageism is nothing but it describes the negativism. That means whenever the age is increasing means we think that we are age is reducing. That forms a negativism on this the older adults, that is elders. Health concerns and symptoms in the elderly may be overlooked or dismissed as part of normal aging process. Here the health concerns and symptoms in elderly they are overlooked are dismissed as part of normal aging process. When we come to the normal aging process, more symptoms and health problems are more, and some of the mm, small conditions they will be overlooked. That means they think that just they are due to old age, they will get knee joint pains or some pains, feverish, some giddiness, uh, like that. They think like that. Consequently, several conditions in older adults are significantly underdiagnosed and undertreated. Misconceptions about aging frequently encountered in medicine and in society at large include issues involving sexuality, sleep disturbance, depression, cognitive impairment, and substance abuse. That means mostly these are the misconceptions in the old age. That is nothing but sexuality, sleep disturbances, depression, cognitive impairment, and substance abuse are the usually seen in the elderly persons. These are commonly seen problems. The negative belief and stereotypes we have about the older adults are form of prejudice called the ageism. It is nothing but the ageism. Ageism is very common in America. Like other forms of prejudice, ageism hurts both individuals and society. Ageism prevents people from reaching or maintaining their full potential. When they become old, usually due to age process, they can't maintain their full potentiality. This fact sheet describes some of the prejudices our society has about aging. This fact will describe about the some of the judgments in the society. 10 of the most common myths of the aging are explored. There are several myths in the world, but some of these are common to all the elders throughout the world. Among these, the commonest 10 myths, let us see. Coming to the first myth, senility is a normal part of aging. It is nothing but getting a little forgetfulness is a normal part of age. It is normal to forget to stop for milk at the store or to forget someone's name. It is normal to it is normal to become it is normal to become forgetfulness, sometimes dull, and it is nothing but dementia. The cause is nothing but dementia. It is usually seen and sometimes can be reversed, that is malnutrition, depression, dehydration, and drug interactions can also lead to the dementia. They lead to the dementia when they are malnourished or some depression is there and due to some dehydrations and due to some of the drugs. Depression can be treated with talk therapy or medication, or the dementia from depression results from depression. Usually, this first myth is nothing but the forgetfulness. Senility is the normal part. Senility it is nothing but forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is common in the elderly persons above 50 and 60 years, and usually they are more prone to forget on the way or on the way of middle of the work. And usually it results due to malnourishment and depression, or sometimes dehydration, and sometimes due to some of the drugs. uh, and it is common, and it can be treated by talk therapy. Means when we are continuously talking, it can be treated, and due to by some of the medications also, the depression and dementia can be treated. And usually we can see this depression and dementia in the Alzheimer's disease. And here it creates the physical changes in the brain that leads to severe dementia. People with Alzheimer's disease eventually fail to recognize their own family members. They even fail to recognize themselves. There is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is nothing but it is a chronic dementia. Here we can see, and they'll forget their family members, even sometimes themselves also, about themselves also. And it is not curable. Coming to the second myth, most old people are alone and lonely. It is the commonest problem in the old age. When we see most of the people at the old age, they are left alone, who are having children in the abroad, working abroad, or sometimes when the children, when they are nulliparous, without any children. And sometimes due to some other causes, due to quarrels, or left by their children, some of the parents left by their children, they will be alone. So that is the second myth, that is, this is not true at all. Friends and families are very important in the lives of older adults. In fact, the number of close friends remain relatively stable throughout their life. Even if the family members are left alone, even if they are nulliparous, even if the children leave them, there will be friends. So it, usually this might is not given so important. Why? Means they must have their friends in their life. It's true the number of casual friends may decrease, but the number of close friends stays the same. People who have many close friends throughout life continue to have many close friends. Throughout life, people may have closer friends. Families remain close even in later years. In fact, 80% of parents over the age of 65 see at least one of their adult children every 1 to 2 weeks. Parents above 65 years, they will always see their children for 1 to 2 weeks. More than half of the older parents have seen an adult child within the past 24 hours. Over 50% of older adults within 10-minute drive of one or more of their grown children. Means usually most of the parents will be continuously seeing their grown up children, and usually 50 members will be seeing every 10 hours, 10 minutes. And usually half of the persons they will be morely with the children only. So every day, every time they will be seeing their children. Grandparents also have frequent interactions with their grandchildren. Grandchildren contacts are often centered on the special events such as attending a birthday party or school activity. Even if the grandparents are not staying with them, they must be accompanied on the day of party, or on the day of birthday parties or school activities or some other functions at their party places. Coming to the myth 3, it is nothing but most old people are in poor health. That means their health status is declined. Another myth of aging is that being old means being sick. Physical changes occur with age. Thinning hair and sagging skin are normal physical changes that happen with age. That is, hair fall is common and sagging skin loses its laxity. Other adults have a higher risk of developing certain diseases, that is arthritis, heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes and cancer are more common among the older adults than young. But even when they have one of those diseases, older adults make changes in their lives so they can remain independent. In general, other people describe themselves as pretty health. Usually, there are more health problems. Coming to the third myth, there are more health problems for the old age. That means the health is very poor, and usually there will be loss of hair and skin laxity will be reduced. That is, sagging of the skin is present, and usually there are common diseases like arthritis, heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes, cancer, etc. And usually they like to live independently even at this elder age. Coming to the myth 4, old people are more likely to be victims of crime. The notion that older people are prisoners in their own homes because they are afraid of crime is a great exaggeration. In fact, older adults are less likely than younger people to be robbed, assaulted, or raped. In spite of this reality, older adults are more fearful of crime. There are good reasons to be afraid. Crime is a serious problem in many neighborhoods. In those neighborhoods, everyone is at risk, not just older people. Many old adults are afraid because they live alone in urban or inner city neighborhoods or alone out of the farm or ranch. Older adults fear they could not defend themselves because they are not as strong as the attacker might be. Usually, it is common for all the people you in the childhood, in the adulthood, in the elderly, and in the middle age. Uh, they are, everyone is afraid of the crime, but usually these elder people are more afraid of the crimes because they think that they usually they think that we have less strength than the crime attacker, and usually we can't defend them. They think like that, so that's why they'll be fearful. They are afraid that they cannot run fast enough to get away safely. The truth is that older adults are more at risk of crime at the hands of their family members or caregivers. Usually, they are at more high risk. Coming to the myth 5, most older people live in poverty. Usually, they live in poverty. In 1959, one of the three older adults lived in poverty. The federal government improved social security and strengthened the laws protecting private pensions. Usually, the olden days, almost all the elderly used to live in poverty. That means when they are young, they will used to work, they will earn. Even after retirement of age, that is after 60 years of age, they are unable to work as it's of the young age. That time they are unable to earn the money and the earning value will be reduced, so that the government is helping in many various ways, like giving private pensions, government pensions for the government employees, and old age pensions, widow pensions, for the females. They are giving more financial supports like this. And usually, this federal government improved social security and strengthened the laws protecting private pensions, that is Medicare, and programs for nutrition, housing, and transportation were also developed in 1960 to help the older Americans. Usually in India also nowadays, the government is giving old age pensions for both the males and females. They are providing housing also for those who are not having a own house, and they are giving the full length rations, uh, uh, at their doorstep, and they are giving all they are providing the medical facility also at the doorstep. Those programs have been very successful in reducing the poverty among the elderly. Today, only 1 in 10 older adults live in poverty. Today, the poverty line is reduced because the government is supporting more. Myth 6: elders become more religious with age. Automatically, when the working situation is reduced due to the age process, the time spent in the religious process will be more. The lifetime stability theory predicts that people generally remain the same throughout life. Usually, they remain same throughout the life. Researchers has found a slight decrease in organized religious activities among older adults who were actively involved in their religion in their younger years. Older adults may be less involved in Older adults may be less involved in religious activities because of transportation problems such as difficulty driving at night. Difficulty driving. They may also have problems getting into place of worship because of stairs. When they are not able to attend and participate in religious activities, older adults find other ways to worship. They spend more time in reading, watching religious programs on television, or listen. Usually, in the young age, actually, we can visit to the temples, to the holy places, and we can have many journeys at the holy places. But in due to aging process, they are unable to mm, uh, go on their journeys, and they are unable to climb more stairs. So that's why they spend their time in reading the holy books and seeing at the television or listening in the religious myths. Coming to the myth 7: older workers are less productive than younger workers. Employees know that this is simply not true. Nearly half of all the American businesses employ retired workers. Older employees produce high quality work. They draw on years of experience to solve problems. Usually, upon the experience only, we can usually find the solutions for any problem. So, usually the government in not in India but in the foreign countries, usually they will take the old elder people only for the employment after, even after retirement also. Why? Means they produce more in the factories, and high quality work will be done by them. They are nowadays, in the present trend, even in the Indian government also is following in some of the departments, taking the retired employees again once again into the service, uh, as as the need of the employee and as the need of the government, to in order to reduce the in order to give the financial support to the elders, and the work will be done fast. Older employees produce high quality work. They draw on years of experience to solve the problems. Older workers are known to be highly motivated and flexible about work schedule. Usually the elders are more motivated about the work than the youngest. We as usually know, and have low rates of absenteeisms, and usually the elders are not absenting as their life. Older workers are excellent mentors for younger workers, and they are the good leaders for the young workers. Coming to the myth 8: retirees suffer decline in health and early death. Thinking back on how retirement used to be, it is easy to understand how this myth got started. In fact, until recent years, this myth was really a fact. In the 20th century, expectancy was about 46 years. In 1900, an American male's lifespan included 8 years of education, 32 years of work, and just over 1 year of retirement. Today, with a lifespan of nearly 74 years, an adult is more likely to work a few more years, that is 39 versus 32 years, but can expect to spend nearly 14 years in retirement. Usually, the retirement age is nowadays it has been increased. When the um, expectancy was 40 years, usually they used to work about 32 years, and the remaining 8 years they used to spend their life are in resting. And when the life expectancy was 74 years, now usually now it is 74 years, and here the government insists to work for about 60 years, and the remaining 14 years is resting period after retirement. Coming to the myth 9, most old people have no interest in or capacity for sexual relations. Just like many other aspects of life, sexual behavior in later life mirrors sexual behaviors in young and middle adulthood. Researchers have found that good health, not age, is the key to sexual relationships throughout life. The way older adults express sexuality may change over the years. Coming to the 10th myth, most old people, end up in nursing homes. This is perhaps one of the greatest untruths about aging. Fears of aging and media continue to feed this untruth. Reality is that on any given day, only about 5% of the older adults are living in a nursing home or a long term care facility. Nursing homes today are more likely to be rehabilitation centers where people stay to recover from a stroke, heart attack, or fall. In fact, 25% of the older adults may temporarily move. That is usually the myth. Here, the 10th myth is nothing but most of the people end in the nursing home when they are sick due to the aging process. When the elder people are sick due to fall or due to some of the surgeries after rehabilitation, after surgeries due to rehabilitation, they stay at the nursing homes, and due to some of the heart strokes, mm, or some of the infarcts, some of the diseases, they will be admitted in the nursing homes, and their lives end in the nursing homes usually, and it is usually temporary move for the older people, elders. Thank you, ma. Hope you understood the myths and realities in the elderly. We'll continue in the later session. Thank you.